Here, fishy, fishy. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Subnautica. Today is not going to be a gameplay video. Oh wow, there was a bunch of Oculus down here. This video is going to be showcasing a group of mods that I have recently been playing with and I have really started to enjoy. So the mods in question are from Field Creator Studios, FCS for short. And who are these guys? They're a group of modders who came together and said, you know what, we want to make some dope mods. And they have released several on PC. So that's a brief introduction. Let's get straight to it. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this thing right here, the FCS Tech Fabricator. Now, I do want to preface all this by saying there are a couple of mods that you do need before you start installing and using all of these. First off, you need the QMod Manager, clearly. If you're going to be using any kind of mods on Subnautica, you're going to need the QMod Manager. Radial Tabs is also recommended. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, this is what it looks like. It makes all of your tabs radial. It is not required, but if you install several of these mods, it is highly recommended, just because your HUD can get very cluttered. The third thing you're going to need is the SML Helper, the modding helper. That one's going to help with implementing new things into the game that weren't necessarily in the vanilla version of Subnautica. Now, let's take a look at this. So here is going to be all of the different mods that you can use with this fabricator. And I'm going to be showing you each of these different mods. So let's go over here first. This one is the industrial power cell socket. It's another way for you to power your base. As you can see, it comes with 4 different power cell slots and it shows you how much power you have in each one. Is it necessary? Not necessarily, but it is extremely handy, especially if you're in a location that doesn't have thermal very close by, or if you don't have the nuclear reactor set up yet. You know, just another alternative. The next group that I want to show you is going to be these over here. I'm going to start with the sea cooker right here. So what exactly is the sea cooker? Well, this thing will, this thing cooks food in batches, so you don't have to sit there and cook fish after fish after fish after fish. So the first thing you need is some type of power, and you put them in just like this, left click, and it's in. So now it's powered, it's ready to start cooking for you. So I'm going to dump all of these fish that I grabbed just a while ago and start cooking. No power. What? You have power. Don't give me that. There we go. Okay, as you can see, it takes a little bit. And if you're wondering how to make that power cell, or the fuel cell for that thing, you do so in the fabricator itself.
Starvation imminent.
Oh, that's okay.
Immediately.
Thank you, PDA, but that's okay. I'm about to be taken care of. Okay. Alright, so as you see, it finished. Where's my food? It's right over here in the sea breeze. This thing kind of acts like a locker, but it will preserve your cooked food along with any of your plants as well. So it's not going to rot, which is really, really handy, especially if you don't have a lot of salt nearby or anything like that.
Stabilizing.
You can store it here, come back, eat it whenever you want to. Next up, right here, this is the mini fountain filter. So if you don't want to worry about that massive water filtration machine and all of the energy that it requires, you can use this thing. So you can just take water and completely refill your water bar, as you saw down there on the bottom left, and that auto replenishes. Is that a little broken? Kind of, but your water does decrease rather quickly in this game. And you can also just take a water bottle as well, and it gives you the smaller ones that you get from your regular bladderfish. Just a heads up with that one. But again, very, very handy. Next up is this mini medical bay right here. There are 2 uses with this. One, you can straight up heal yourself with the energy from it. How about that? Completely healed. And also, it has a fabricator inside of it, and it makes 4 at a time, the first aid kits, which is pretty handy. So you won't have to make the standalones anymore. It comes with this mini med bay right here. Next up, right here, power storage. So this one was rather unique. Now, I like this one because whenever you're away from your base, if you have that auto-regenerating power supplies like your thermal plants, your nuclear reactors, your bioreactors when you're going away, all of that power is kind of just sitting around. If you want to actually store it, you can do so here. And as you can see, I currently have it in charge mode, and it's charging the very first battery. If for some reason you needed to take out, say, your thermal plants and move them to a different base, you could keep this here and put it in discharge mode. And it'll start powering your base that way, which is pretty cool. This thing I'm going to show you in just a second. I wanted to show you something down here. Now, as you can see, I have all of my auto sort lockers. If you guys were watching my Let's Play, you will be familiar with those. A couple new things down here, though, along with these. This little guy, it's not something that's part of the FCS mod group, but is extremely handy. Highly recommend checking out this resource monitor mod as well. It shows you everything that you have inside your base, and instead of going to all the different lockers, you can just grab what you want straight from it, which is pretty cool. Okay, so next thing that I wanted to show you was this guy right here, Altera Shipping. This thing is super handy. You know how you have to pull everything from your base, load it up in your vehicle, and then trek it over to another base? Well, you don't have to do that anymore. Open up your shipping container, put what you want to ship to your other base, get out of it, send package, and then select where you want to send it. Bada bing, bada boom. Nice and easy. It does take a little bit of a time to get there, which is fine. It should be expected. No big deal. Whenever you get over to your other base, during this time, it'll show up. Now, the one thing that you want to keep in mind with this, you have to have another shipping container at your other base. Otherwise, it's not going to work. That should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway because common sense isn't all that common. Now, while that is working, I have something else that I want to show you guys before I turn around and look at that big boy. It is going to be right over here. Two other things. This is by far my favorite FCS mod. This is the Deep Driller. Now, what exactly does this thing do? This thing collects resources while you're away from it. So you don't have to manually go hunt down all of the resources in the game anymore. This thing will collect them for you. Now, you do have to craft some modules before you can actually use this thing. Okay, how close do I have to be to get you to work? There we go. Okay, so I already have 3 of them crafted. There are a couple other ones. I'll walk you through them. So the first one, this focus attachment kit that allows you to build one focus attachment unit. I will show you what this does in just a second. But before we do that, you need to give it some type of power. This is a battery attachment. You just drag it over there. I will tell you that this will not work if you're using a controller. You have to use a mouse to manually click and drag these things over, just as a heads up. So add your power attachment first. You can put your focus attachment if you want it, and then your driller attachment. This is not necessary for it to start working, but it does increase the amount of resources it'll gather during an in-game day. Okay, so I put in those 3. Now I need to power it. If you use the battery attachment, please remember that you need to actually put power into those. Okay, so it has those on standby. Come over here and turn it on. It is animated, which is really cool. While it's doing that, I'm going to show you this focus tab right here. This shows you the available resources that you can find in this area. I thought it was actually really funny that you can get nickel here in the Jelly Shroom Caves, because most of us visit the Jelly Shroom Caves fairly early in the game, and you get nickel fairly late in the game. So I thought it was interesting that those were available down here. Anyway, up here it shows the power meter of the power cells that you installed. It also shows the, how much health your driller has. It does deteriorate health after a while, so you do want to be mindful of that. You are going to have to visit it every now and then and make sure to repair it. So as this thing is working, as you can see down here, it is animated, which is really cool. And this is the compartment where you get everything right here. As you can see, it's already grabbed 1 lithium, which is really cool. Now, right behind me, which is kind of like a complementary mod to this one, is the storage depot. So if you don't have a lot of room inside, or maybe you just can't be bothered to bring everything inside, you can straight up grab stuff from there and store it right inside this storage depot, which is pretty cool. Now, you don't have to necessarily use it in conjunction with this driller. You can straight up just move this somewhere else, wherever you want, and it acts as mobile storage, which is pretty cool. It's fairly easy to use as well. Click this, and just dump it in there just like you would in any other locker. Pretty neat. Now, with that being said, let's go check out that quantum teleporter that I kind of just left you guys hanging on just a while ago. Now, this bad boy is really, really cool. Instead of, taking the time to swim or take your vehicle all the way to your other base, if you have one of these quantum teleporters in this base and one in your other ones, you can teleport straight there. So I'm going to do that. Initiate teleportation. Kind of goofed right there. No big deal. Some of these mods are still a work in progress, so be mindful of that. However, I can say that they all work very, very well. Okay. And turn around. And we are now in my other base, which is really, really cool. I like it. And just to showcase this sea breeze to you guys, I told you that your, tree samples, your plants and everything will stay fresh. I'll take this bulbo tree sample out. Look at that. It's fresh. Right on. It was a little bit less than what it is whenever you first chop it straight off the tree, but that's because I took my time getting back to this thing. No big deal. Okay, so you see this right here? Turbine monitoring system. Yeah, I'm going to show you exactly what this is. So let's pop out here. Oh yeah, this is my mountain base, by the way, here on the beach. I absolutely love this thing. And it is a fantastic location for an official base as well, if you want to ever build over here. Highly recommend it. Anyway, this was the other FCS mod that I was telling you about. And these right here are your jet streams. This is another energy source. As you can see, it has a depth meter along with speed. These things also have health bars as well, so you want to make sure that you repair them. Otherwise, they'll continue to deteriorate and you will lose power. So these things are fairly cheap to make. Where are we at? Right over here. You got to craft that little module inside that FCS fabricator that I showed you, and that goes for the rest of these too. X Storage Depot has its own, as well as these other ones. All of these have their own little modules that you have to craft. Once you craft it, you come out here, and that's what you use instead of, say, lithium or diamonds, things like that. Okay, so now that I showed you that, I do have another monitor right down here, just for the sake of convenience. But let's hop right back up here into my base and head back to that area. Right down here. And where is my fabricator? Did I leave it down here? Yes, I did. It's right here. Okay. So, for the modules themselves that you want to make, as you can see, here are the different ones. Now, for the deep driller, for example, here's the kit that actually lets you build it. It shows you the requirements for said kit. This is the focus attachment. This is the battery attachment. And this is the other way that you can power it, with solar. Obviously, you do have to be within a certain depth limit in order for that to work. And it has 3 driller modules. Mark 1 is for 15 a day. The default is 12, by the way. 15 a day is for Mark 1. Mark 2 is 22. Mark 3 is for 30 resources per day. So as you can imagine, if you even pick up 1 or 2 of these deep drillers, you will be swimming in resources. So this is going to be a short video. I'm done. I just wanted to show you guys what these mods look like, showcase them, and tell you how they worked. Oh, by the way, our shipment's here. How about that? Pretty cool, right? Love it. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to check these mods out, I will be leaving links in the description. Feel free to check them out and let me know what you think of them if you do check them out. That's all I have for you. I'll see you guys next time.